Hey. Welcome to a brand new edition of the Rundown with Ramon. My name is Ramon Ray, publisher of zoneofgenius.com. And we have a lot in store for you today. And I'm so glad you're here today. Imagine if you weren't here today, what a lonely show it would be. But you're here with me today. I'm here today. So let's get started with a brand new edition of the Rundown with Ramon. 1, 2, 3. In fact, with the Rundown with Ramon, we got a lot in store for you today. What are we going to talk about today? One, the headliner is why do big companies make bad content, and what can we learn from that? How sleeping better, if we want to sleep better, change what and when we eat. Many of us know that, but it's a good reminder. Pivot or Perish, Forbes writes, the foundation of digital success is your digital workforce. Business Daily gives us 5 best free secure messaging apps for our businesses. 5 strategies for improving mental health at work. Inc. talks about 3 reasons new entrepreneurs fail from Tom Mello, who's a founder of A1 Garage Door. Talk about from Forbes again, how will you know if your market research methods are outdated? And continuing to learn lessons from Red Lobster, which I believe by now has declared bankruptcy. If you never heard of Red Lobster, well, you're probably watching this like ages ago or you're too young. But Red Lobster is that favorite of all-American restaurant. But let's dive into today on the Rundown with Ramon. And I'm glad you're here today. Listen, if I've joined you today or you joined me today and you're not feeling so well, I'm glad I can be a part of your day and help you feel just a bit better. If you're feeling great today, well, I'm glad I can be a part of your day and join in on the greatness that you're feeling. This is the Rundown with Ramon. Get to know me better at RamonRay.com, at zoneofgenius.com. And with that, I'm going to stop talking. Well, I'm going to keep talking, but I'm going to shift gears and go into the Rundown with Ramon. Ding, 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 ding. Why big companies make bad content. I don't know. You tell me, but it looks like there's some reasons for this that we can learn from and unpack from Ahrefs blog. Here's the bottom line of why big companies make bad content, some say, and why maybe it's an asset or why maybe it's a good thing. The article writes, as companies grow, they become more complicated, and writing good, relevant content becomes harder. There's extra rounds of legal review and stakeholder approval. Content gets watered down to serve an ever more generic brand voice. There's the growing misalignment, writes again Ahrefs blog, between search and content teams. There's a lack of leadership within the company as early employees leave. Now, the small company workflow with Ahrefs talks about is content, lead, writer, and it's published. But a big company workflow, content team, SEO, the writer, the product team, legal review, C-suite input, tone of voice, SME review, business unit review, and then it's published. A lot gets in the way, but the writer here is saying that maybe that's okay, and maybe there's something we can learn from it. Maybe even though it's not so great, maybe there's something there. One, more traffic is better than less, postulates the writer of this article in ahrefs.com. More traffic is better than less, even maybe if it's not so targeted, even if people are not buying it as much, maybe. One thought is at least we're having more traffic. Yes, it's good to have very targeted traffic and increase the buying rates, but as we may discover in this article, once you have so much content, you begin to dominate in a certain area, no matter what you put out, as long as it veers toward that. Number 2, the bigger you get, the cheaper content becomes, which is an interesting point of view. As you get bigger and bigger and bigger and have more freelance writers and more employees and more, the content gets much cheaper to put out there. So that's something to consider as we're thinking of what are best practices in content for a smaller business where maybe it's just the owner trying to produce that content day in and day out. That can be hard. But for a small business, but for a larger company, they have the economies of scale to produce more content much cheaper. Number 3, when a large company IPOs, your audience becomes much broader, becomes everyone. And again, it may literally not be everyone, but for sure, the market gets much bigger for what you want to do. There's the pre-IPO funnel of very broad and very focused, or very focused, very narrow, and then post-IPO funnel, well, you got to get a lot more people in there. These visitors might not purchase a software subscription when they see your article, but they will notice your brand and maybe listen more attentively the next time your stock ticker appears on the news. Number four, your competitors will make you. SEO, which now is getting less and less thanks to AI, is an arms race. There are a finite number of keywords and topics, and leaving a rival to claim hundreds, even thousands of the search engine optimized keywords and other things uncontested could very quickly create a headache for your company. So your competitors will force you to produce all this content. Again, a great article here from Ryan Law in Ahrefs. So the final thought that he's writing, these types of articles are miscategorized. Instead of them making them as bad content, it's better to think of them as cheap digital billboards with surprisingly great attribution. That's something to think about. That although we may think it's bad content that bigger companies are doing, and we're so pure and haughty-taughty in how we're doing it on the small business side, maybe there indeed is something we can learn from what the bigger companies are doing. Again, my name is Ramon Ray. This is the Rundown with Ramon, and I'm so glad you're here with me today as we march forward to helping you live your best life or start or grow your business. Ding, 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 ding. To sleep better, change what and when you eat, says our friends in the Wall Street Journal. This is an important thing to keep in mind. Those of you who are not sleeping well, how many of you have bad sleep patterns? How many of you are in bed, but you wake up still tired? Maybe it's when you eat and what you eat. Let's dive into this a bit more. Article in the Wall Street Journal says, you already know that fruits and veggies and lean proteins are good for your health, but they can boost your sleep too. These foods are the basis for what's called the Mediterranean diet, which research shows may improve sleep quality, reduce sleep disturbances, and boost sleep efficiency. Who knew? The Mediterranean diet. Eating a Mediterranean or other similarly healthy diet is linked to a reduction in symptoms of insomnia, according to a just published review of 37 studies with almost 600,000 participants. So if you're looking to get a better sleep, maybe the foods you eat are better because you can digest them better. Reading further here, it says it also balances our gut microbiome, which may help regulate our circadian rhythm, says a nutritional psychiatrist. So what we eat is important so our foods can digest it better. Then when do we eat it? People who eat close to bedtime have poor sleep quality, studies show. Researchers think this may have something to do in part with body temperature. Our body typically cools down before bed. This is an important part also of our circadian rhythm, which affects our sleep. Circadian rhythm. Digestion heats our body up, messing with this process. If you're not getting a good night's rest, and if you want to sleep better, maybe be careful more so of what you eat and how you eat it. Be consistent about meal times. Eat breakfast. Cut back on alcohol or avoid it totally. A light evening snack is okay, but make it light. Listen, everybody, my name is Ramon Ray. This is the Rundown with Ramon. All we ask is for a few minutes of your time to give you the top things you need to know to live your best life or start your business. We just talked about marketing. We just talked about food. Up next, we're going to talk about ding, 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 pivot or perish. The foundation of digital success is your digital workforce. Interesting article here, which talks about the power of, yes, we need employees, we need teams, but what are we doing with our digital workforce? In 2020 at Davos, the World Economic Forum published that technological progress and AI will be net positive for long-term job growth. This is not just people yakking about it and saying it. It's a real thing. Let's look at just one example. McKinsey researchers suggest that generative AI could mean that 30% of the hours we work today could be automated by 2030. That's 30%. So Antonio, this fictional character they're saying, he's a seasoned tech professional, but this rapid change may be daunting. Despite his impressive credentials and experience, Antonio feels threatened by the changing nature of his role. So what are we going to do about it? 2 strategic actions, writes, who's writing this, give attribution to the writer, Brendan Hooft. 2 strategic actions. 1, reimagine your talent and augment your digital skills. The talent you hired 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago may not be the best talent of today. Research shows that approximately 75% of employees say they have a difficult time finding college graduates with the soft skills they need to say please and thank you, look in the eye in the Western context, shake hands firmly in the Western context, especially. Be able to communicate, be able to speak clearly, be able to be empathetic, be able to read the room, be able to understand where to be or where not to be. These things are important. Developing new skills is vital to being automated out of our roles or becoming obsolete. It's important to develop new skills. Gartner shared, by the way, 14 specific skills that we should focus on to pivot to the changing digital landscape, presenting a significant opportunity for personal and professional growth. Number two, fuel innovation and accelerate a digital culture. Bain and Company found that companies with a winning culture outperform others by 10 times on growth. We know this probably. We think about this probably. But what are we doing about it? Do we have the right culture we need to grow our businesses? And possibly even more importantly, are we adapting to change in the market? Are we adapting to what our customers needs, or are we staying stuck? The conclusion of the article writes, in conclusion, the future belongs to those who embrace change and are intentional about digital workforce transformation. This is not just some wonky word that people throw around, not just some wonky thing that we say. It's a real thing that can work, and we have to get ready for it. Thanks for those emojis of affirmation. I appreciate it. Again, if you've just joined, my name is Ramon Ray. This is The Rundown with Ramon. Get to know me better at RamonRay.com. Get to know us better at ZoneOfGenius.com. Ding, 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 ding. 5 best free secure messaging apps for businesses. Sometimes, in some scenarios, you want to communicate much more secretly. Maybe it's trade secrets. Maybe things are going on with your family. Who knows? But secure messaging apps can help you communicate securely, especially from the average hacker who's trying to get your information. They secure your messaging from end to end so people can't eavesdrop on it, even if they have access to your Wi-Fi networks. Now, the article writes, while no messaging app is totally foolproof, business users with privacy concerns would be wise to check out these 5 secure messengers to ensure they're as safe as possible. So, why would you want to use secure messaging apps? A few reasons writes this article in Business News Daily. 1, protection of confidential company data. Number 2, meeting HIPAA requirements for healthcare organizations. Number 3, staying in compliance with data regulation. So, what are 5 secure messaging apps that we can consider? 1, Private Now, an encrypted communication service with several offerings. So Private Now, Pryvate, cost about $2.86 per month, $2.86 per month, something you may want to check out. End-to-end encryption. Signal Private Messenger. Signal's another very popular app which encrypts business communications to make it very hard or nearly impossible for hackers and others to get into and use it. Users can set up encrypted groups for private communications. Signal uses your existing phone number and address book, so you don't have to remember any additional usernames or passwords or maintain a separate contact list. Signal also allows users to make secure phone calls, even internationally, without long-distance charges. There's Telegram, another popular secure messaging app. In addition to offering the free messaging you want, Telegram makes it easy to sync your conversations across various devices. When secret chat is enabled, all of your chats will self-destruct automatically. None of the files you share are stored anywhere, and end-to-end encryption will be turned on. Another one is Wickr, Wickr, another popular end-to-end encryption service. Another is Wire, an encrypted collaboration platform. Listen, sometimes you want to communicate things in business or in life, and you want to make sure they're as secure as possible. You don't want somebody in your home. You don't want your neighbor. You don't want to open network on a hotel Wi-Fi or coffee shop Wi-Fi to see your information. You don't want the end user to share it with others. These services help you ensure as best as possible that your communication is secure as can be. Again, my name is Ramon Ray. This is The Rundown with Ramon. We give you the top things you need to know to live your best life or start to grow your business in a quick nugget of information. Get to know me better at RamonRay.com or ZoneOfGenius.com. Let's keep moving forward. Ding, 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 ding. 5 strategies for improving mental health at work. Mental health is a real thing. Thanks for those continued affirmations. Keep them going. We talk about health and think it's just the physical body. We talk about the health of our businesses, but our mindset is important as well. Our mental health is important as well. If we're not healthy inside, it's hard to show up the right way we want to show up on the outside. So, what are some ways we can show up better and protect or improve mental health at work? Writes Maura Aarons Mele of Harvard Business Review. One thing we can do is don't rely on outsiders to drive behavior change. It's not outsiders who are going to solve our problems. It's often we who need to do the inner work first and just be better people. This is important to understand. Talks about also, so get specific and focus on the work product you need and how you can better support the employees involved. Foster conversations across generations and genders. This is important because across generations, 21-year-olds and 51-year-olds, that's important. Different work lives, different journeys on the road of success, different paths, different generations, different contexts, but still humans. And of course, genders, males and females, we think different, we talk different. How we show up is absolutely different in many cases. Be patient and prepared to invest in what matters. Patience is important, and investing in what matters is essential. Walk the talk. Mental health is core to everything we do at work. Protecting it will take all of us. This is important to keep in mind. Thanks to Maura Aarons Mele for talking about this. How can we be better at work? The mental health, our mindsets are so important, and we should never, ever forget it. Mental health is important. It's not a thing that's just done. It's something we really have to work at and do and build into our companies. And those of you who are employees, don't just leave it to your employer to work on mental health. It's something we all need to work on. Again, this is the Rundown with Ramon. Thank you so much for joining. 3 reasons new entrepreneurs fail. This is from somebody whose book I've read, Tommy Mello. If you don't know Tommy Mello, definitely check him out. Founder of A1 Garage Door. Why do entrepreneurs fail? 1, they don't have enough savings, personal savings, so they need to feed their family, stop their business and get a job, or savings or runway for their business to grow. I heard this from the CEO, the founder of Lovesac, said nearly the same thing. Number 2, they don't have a plan. What's the plan they're going to do to take their business to the next level? They don't have a plan. What's the plan for your brand, for your market, for your strategy, for your system, for your people? They run the business as employees. An employee in the business is different than running it as a business owner, operator, focusing on the team, focusing on the cash flow, focusing on all the things that are important. You have to think like an owner, not just an employee. So these are just 3 of many reasons why businesses fail, but I can think of a few more reasons why businesses don't get to where they need to be and why they fail. 1, do they have a plan or not? Number 2, are they serving the right customer? Number 3, are they showing up consistently? Number 4, are they following it? Number 5, are they listening to really what the customer wants? Number 6, do they have the right pricing? Number 7, is it packaged and telegraphed the right way? Number 8, what is the marketing strategy to attract the right eyeballs and brand awareness to your product? Even if people don't know who you are, it's game over. So these are just a few things that you can do better in your business if you want to see it grow and get to the next level. This is important. Think about this as you're running your businesses, as you're doing your business. How can you get your business to the next level? Ding, 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 ding. How will you know if your market research methods are outdated? This is important to keep in mind. You've been doing market research over and over and over again, but is it working? Is it proper? Is it well? Is it working for you or not? Is it time to shift how you're thinking? Are you doing the same way, the same thing over and over and over again? It's important to know when to change and when to pivot. Reimagining your approach to insight. So how do you update your research methods? Well, 1, are you always prioritizing the customer and what the customer or the consumer wants? Are you using a mix of research methods? Are you researching only one way? The shopping landscape, says Forbes, is complex. A single methodology like a survey is usually not enough to build understanding. understanding. So consider employing multimodal studies that blend quantitative data, neuroscience, and qualitative interviews. Adopt research practices for the digital age. So your research, if you want to ensure you're on point and serving your customers and always doing the needful to be sure that you're serving the customers and the marketplace what they want, make sure your market research is not outdated. This is important to keep in mind. Ding, 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 ding. The demise of Red Lobster is a perfect case study in how to kill a business. Now, many of you are loving Red Lobster. I don't know if all the stores are out, and this is not a news story. But interesting enough, many of the memes and the headlines were like it's the endless shrimp that caused Red Lobster to go out of business. But that was not the case. The story of what went wrong with Red Lobster, Rice Business Insider, is much more complicated than a bunch of stoners pigging out on shrimp. The brand has been plagued by various problems, waning customer interest. One person said that many people are going to even steakhouses to get their seafood fix. Constant leadership turnover. Red Lobster was sold to this, that, and the other one, so the focus was not on them. And private equities meddling in the business, taking the Red Lobster real estate, selling it off, getting a big cash infusion, and then Red Lobster had to pay for the real estate they had. That's the summary of the story. So it wasn't just endless shrimp that caused them to go out of business. It's often a number of things that cause a brand like Red Lobster to go out of business. Question for you is, make sure you're doing the right thing in your business. Hey, everybody, my name is Ramon Ray. This is The Rundown with Ramon. Check us out at zoneofgenius.com. And I beg you and ask you, be clear on what you really, really, really want in business. Be clear on it. Ask yourself, do you even want to be in business? There's no music, there's no soundtrack in life or business. It's just you. Understand, are you hungry enough to be where you want to be, to get where you need to be at? What is your pricing like? Is it premium or is it cheap? Ask yourself, what do you do best and what can you get paid to do? What do people want? And combine with what do you do best? My name is Ramon Ray, everybody. This has been an episode of The Rundown with Ramon, and I'm so glad you're here today. If you're enjoying this episode, let me know. DM me on Instagram, Ramon Ray Smart Hustle, LinkedIn, variety of platforms. And here's what I want you to do before you go. Go tell somebody that they're special. Go tell somebody what they mean to you. Go tell somebody that they matter. Go make a difference in the life of somebody else. Because I want to tell you that you matter. I want to tell you that you're special, and we need you to keep showing up to make the world a better place. This is The Rundown with Ramon. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Appreciate you being here. Glad you're receiving value from it. And until next time, see you on the next Rundown with Ramon.